above. Oh, ooh. I was choking to the ground, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did, never did, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like. You made me up, you made me a believer, believer. You break me down, you build me up, believer, believer. Let the bullets fly or let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. You made me up, you made me a believer, believer. Last days last by the grace of the fire and the flames. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did, ever did, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like. You made me up, you made me a believer, believer. You break me down, you build me up, believer, believer. Let the bullets fly or let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. You made me up, you made me a believer, believer.
Back when I first became owner of Mint Mobile, I promised one of our first
Oh my dog, what's up?
on? What? What? I don't understand what's going on here.
Give me a break, give me a break.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Give me a break, give me a break.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What? I don't understand.
a mystery. Standing on my feet, it's so hard when I try to be me. Whoa, deja vu. I just been this time before. Higher on the beat, and I know it's a place to go. Calling you, and the search is a mystery. Standing on my feet, it's so hard when I try to be me. Yeah.
Alrighty then, without further ado, let's get right on into it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to, I believe, the last seasonal match of the regular season. Excuse me. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. We're going to be starting on Samoa. Tonight it's going to be Stevenson University versus University of Maryland. The Terrapins versus the Mustangs. Maryland will be on Team Blue, while Stevenson will be Team Red here. Without further ado, we're about to go underway. We're going to be meeting a Brawl versus Poke here. Either side really looking for some action to start here. We'll start tuning in here through Rinzer, who's going to be playing as the DPS side soldier for the Mustangs here. They'll have to be very aware of where Marth is positioned themselves. Marth playing it very up front here behind the Rhine shield. Trying to play it just a bit safe, if you will. Ryan now going to be dropping down and making his way aggressively on him, but that might prove fatal here as they have overplayed their hand. As soon as that Umor goes, now everyone else does as well, as we're going to be seeing why not the first to fall. With the next one coming around here, potentially the Reinhardt. Marth has fallen down to Rinzer. And it keeps on going forward here. Going to be seeing that with these picks, Stevenson's going to be able to cap the first point, causing the Terps to have to regroup here. We do see the swap over to Sigma off Reinhardt. An interesting strategy here, especially since they're still working with the Mei and Lucio. So I'm curious if they're trying to go for the walls up early and still try to go for just separation. We'll have to see if that goes in their favor, but it doesn't seem to be doing it quite yet, as Martha's get picked off yet again for this first start of the fight here, causing the Terps to have to play it back. Terrapins here are going to have to really try to play at a different angle, I would suggest. Playing in this room is not a great plan here. Many teams find themselves actually stuck by staying around in that room if they cannot get out in time. Window's going to be coming on out there as Marth's able to find that first pick they're looking for. They're looking to have a follow-up here by Solus to see if they can find anyone else. But what's this? Coming out from the side here is going to be Rinzer with the overclock. Going to have to play on the flank. Maybe they can find someone. They do take out Why Not before getting knocked down themselves here. As the Mustangs are down one, so is the Terps, as we're going to be seeing one come back from spawn here. Mustangs are going to have to play it very, very back. All the Terrapins are on point here, but lo and behold, we're going to be seeing alt ready and available. Gumi does have their beat drop to work with as the artillery barrage comes on in, not able to get the kill, but dealing a great amount of damage. We're going to be seeing a follow-up of ults here between the window and the flux playing down on under. They do activate the beat, but they're not able to save Solus through the railgun there. Finding that elimination there, they're going to be down that one support. They're almost losing the point as well. DPS are in a world of hurt as they're being forced to retreat here. Rock coming on out, not able to find anyone as the Blizzard gets activated as well. Beat drop has been initiated here, and they find themselves a triple looking for that quad. They get it. Point turns hands once again now as the Mustangs take control. Maryland here has to really try to see how they can combo their ults or try to space some out here, because you have the Sig ult as well as Overclock here, while Stevenson has nothing to work with, but they are extremely spread out. So it's going to have to be a big play on Marth here, coming around the side. It's going to be finding that first pick off there against Why Not, but the Mustangs are receiving a bit of damage here. Looking to see if Nighthawk can try to make their push on in. Great amount of damage, able to knock down 49, but Cynic Hipster does trade back Marth. The damage is coming out high and mighty here. Despite that window amplification, they're going to be met. It's 90% and counting now. Little under 10 seconds left, as we're going to have to see if Stevenson can try to find some sort of play here. We'll see that Rinser has fallen in. It may be the Bastion that goes down next here. They'll have to play it very back, as this point will most definitely turn in favor of the Terrapins. They were going into overtime there, so if they lose this point again, it's all over, especially on a team wipe. So Maryland here has to play it very smart. As we take a look at the point here, we'll be seeing that they're playing right on this high ground, but Mustangs are going on a flank instead. They're playing an off angle here. Very smart off angle, mind you. Going to be going for a roll on out here. Beat drop is ready and available. They have to try to knock away this artillery barrage here to find a value. And it's concentrated fire. It does take out the one. Marth does get taken on out. Despite all best efforts here, with this flank coming out from Rinser, they're able to find 2, 3 on the mark there. Looking for the fourth, able to clean it on up there, turning it, and that's going to be captured over to Stevenson. But Marth did get eliminated early. Marth's going to have to be the one to touch. This is going to be a very risky touch, but they do not have the cooldown. They cannot make it in time. The distance too far, and map number 1, or round number 1, goes to the Mustangs there. I'm sorry, Annabelle, you missed it earlier. We see sound alerts are turned off unless we can get 50 viewers here, which I doubt we can. But if we could, I will wholeheartedly turn on the sound alerts during regular casting. I like to keep it professional where possible, but still give you guys the option for fun. But you gotta hit goals in order to get rewards. Not going to be seeing any swap-ups here from either side. We did see the change from Why Not on May to Bastion in that first round there. But from there on, we're not going to be seeing anything really different here. Taking a look at the map, we're back on the thermal plant on the inside of the volcano. Both sides are now ready and ready to go as they make their way out from their spawn points. First one that's going to be meeting here, let's tune in over to Why Not, who's going to have to deal a huge amount of damage here as they are playing the Bastion. Has to find the right angles and put on the pressure when abilities are used. Great nade to come on out there to start, but needs to find a bit more value there. Goofy is hurt quite a bit, running around very recklessly. They get punished by Wisner, who's rounding the side and looking to get some extra damage on in. This nade's going to be bouncing off the wall, trying to see if they can stick one, but not going to be able to, as Why Not has fallen here. Nighthawk going to try to get on point, but is not able to do it in time in order to stall the capture as it turns over to Stevenson. Terrapins having the play it on back, stay towards spawn for now and regroup, try to change up their strategies here. Maybe seen for a pickup here with Mark as they go for a re-engagement. The strategy I think they're going for is to try to play on this high ground, make sure Stevenson can't utilize it, but they have to apply proper pressure. I stand corrected. Going right down the middle. This is a very headstrong strategy, mind you. I'm not sure if it's going to find the value they're looking for, but it does leave them out open and exposed with a lot of distance that they have to cover. It's not a great strategy, especially if you cannot find a pickoff here as Marth gets taken down by Rinzer at the start. Rinzer playing it very safe in a back. They do find, however, Wisner, thanks to Wineup, but that Railgun's going to be finding a huge pick with the Flux not finding any value itself. It's a suicidal pack against Solus as they find the pickoff here. Railgun is activated. They're looking to try to take out that Lucio, but the Lucio is a bit too nimble for their own liking. They might cap the point here as they play a roundabout, but it seems that our own Lucio here, Cynic Hipster, was playing alive from the start there as Nighthawk has fallen. That's going to be your tank down and going to be a lot of trouble coming on out. Artillery Barrage has been activated going into the backline here. Baptiste is not able to save Marth in time, unfortunately. They do, however, save Wynot for just mere seconds as the point will turn once again now. Going to be seen here that Stevenson is holding strong. They're keeping their distance with this poke, and it's paying off for them. It seems that for Maryland, however, it's not the case for them. They tried to make the investments on a mirror matchup here, but it's not playing out the way they want. Marth's been having a hard time trying to stay alive and finding efficient picks against Rinzer, who's looking for another assassination attempt on the flank. Almost gets goofy with it, too. Artillery Barrage has been activated here by Maryland's Bastions. The beat drop just coming on out. It goes for some marks, but not able to find any hits here as Solus has fallen. Window has been activated and beat has been dropped in return. Now Marth with their own attempt for Railgun is not able to find it as the overclock gets shut on down. It's only Nighthawk left alive. Nighthawk does not have a lot to work with. And ladies and gentlemen, Stevenson takes map number 1. Interesting there. We're not even going to be seeing any sort of play of the game there. A quick swap back. Interesting. Now we're going to be heading over to a hybrid map next. It's going to be band choice by Stevenson, I believe, but map choice by Maryland. I get a bit confused from time to time on how they truly work it from either way, but they figure it out in the end. Seems I don't need this extra light. But I'm still quite dark here. I always have to turn it like this. I don't know why the camera corrects itself so many times like so. We're going to be seeing a ban on Nimbani here by the Mustangs. Stevenson does not want to play high-low ground games from the looks of it. So we might be going right to Kings Row or New York, as those tend to be the favorite picks of many teams. Now, there is also Eichenwald available, but no one plays Eichenwald, no matter how much I love it. There's also Hollywood, but again, not a popular map in terms of all the other maps that could be played. When it comes to these collegiate matches and regular pro kind of games, you'll be often seeing that a lot more brawl-esque rather than more dive-like maps. Now, with the exception of being the Gibraltar. Gibraltar tends to be a choice by many teams if they are strong with the dive. So if Maryland is, that might be the choice that they want to go with, but we'll have to see how that's working, especially against how they were dealing with the poke from Stevenson, which, I'm going to be honest, was not that great. I think they actually would have been better sticking with their Rhine style, only if they stuck together. The hard part about playing Rhine, especially in this poke comp, Bastion, as well as Sojourn, is that you really have to try to utilize the Maywall and isolate a target in a space where they feel pinched in a corner, where they can't feel like they can sidestep easily. And you have to predict their path as well, especially if you go in for a charge or any sort of Reinhardt combos. Now, I know I'm biased to Rhine, but hear me out. It's just a strategy when playing on these types of close maps. And now we're going to be heading on over to Kings Row as Maryland's map selection here. It's an interesting choice. We'll have to see if it's going to pay off for them, given that we saw an early swap off of Brawl on Samoa. So will they do the same going in the Kings Row? or will they stick to the Rhine, try to utilize the May, and try to force the brawl in close corners? We'll have to see, because each team has their own style that they like to work with. But in terms of everything else going on, I would say Stevenson's looking pretty darn strong. They're hitting off on the angles that Maryland's not checking, which does cost the Terrapins when they need to stay alive. We're going to be heading right on to the map here as we'll just switch it on over here. Hello, Ravion. Glad to have you in the stream. Welcome to King's Row, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen here that no sides are going to be swapping here. It's going to be Maryland on the defensive first. So a little hint at May Lucio there, so they might run just that. And looking at what Stevenson has for their choices, we'll say, I think we see Wisner on Sim, Rinzer on Bastion, and 49 was initially on Reinhardt, initially. Neon probably is going to be on BAP as well as Cynic on Lucio. That is going to be my prediction here, and it seems that it was initially correct, but they went and locked in 49 on Sigma. As you could check Nighthawk's health pool, that's the same one they were initially teasing before the map started. Yeah, it's good old Scrims Row here. Going to be seen now with the team setting on up here. What is the strategy going into this? They do have the exact same lineup as we saw on Samoa, but how are they going to play this? They have May, so they can utilize these walls off, especially in these chokes, without allowing Stevenson to get around this edge. They can work with a lot of room, but they still have to fight against a Bastion here, which can be very troublesome. Going to be seen from the eyes of Goomy for the win. Bit of a different change in names. But Stevenson's actually not going to try to engage them. They did see the May early on, so they're going for an initial high ground control here. While going for the jump, they're able to speed on across, almost losing their soldier in here. But it seems that Maryland is going to try to just play it down at their blind spots. Ryan goes for an aggressive charge. I'm not sure that's the strategy you want to be doing. I understand trying to save your teammates, but it's not a very smart one. Rock comes on out. Things aren't looking too hot, but 49 is able to stay alive thanks to Neon just for a hair, as they're able to make a trade-off on tanks. Both tanks are now down. It's going to be really up to Style, and Rins are able to find 1, 2, and Wisner on the 3 and 4. Following up on the 5th there, and that's going to be point number 1 guaranteed unless Reinhardt goes for the contest. That would be a very bad choice to make going into this, as going for a contest this early on will put you at a disadvantage if you perish. 5 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. A lot of time to work with here, as Maryland's going to have to be playing it safe. Maryland now going to be making their push on up, playing this choke here with the May. A good strategy. Just, this is why I ask, why would they not push up a bit earlier before? They would have seen the rotation out from the Mustangs initially, but what's this going on from an attack on the high ground there, being forced back right now. Both sides are really dealing with some extra action here, as the Lucio trying to do something, but not going to be finding too much here. Stevenson still holding around the side. They have the window up, but they're not able to utilize it too much. Reinhardt trying to build up for the fire strike here, despite them trying to play back against Rinzer, and they're taking quite a bit of damage, mind you. Neither side really giving way to one another. Going to be seen here, Lucio keeping guard on the high ground, but what's this? Bastion ult's in effect. They're looking to see if they can take out the BAP and bait out some abilities here. Going on in, looking for the play. It's a trade-off from either side now, and they're not able to escape in time as Stevenson cleans on up. An over-aggression here by Maryland. That's not looking too good for them. Having a bit of a duel out here. Marth falls to Rinzer, and the cart now finally makes its progress. And was a minute plus burned away against the Mustangs time bank, which really is useful for the Terrapins, but now they have to try to rotate these ults. You got Shatter, you got Overclock, you got Beat Drop and Window. Stevenson has Flux They have rail overclock as well as beat coming up for themselves. Window's been activated here, and they're going to be pushing against the Bastion, but Bastion is not as afraid here. They are playing it very safe, while we're going to be seeing the Flux come on out. Beat drop being met as well. It's a bit of an ult fest here. Reinhardt, unfortunately, did not get that beat drop, and is playing it very safely. Shatter comes out. It's a great opportunity. Unfortunately, they're not in a position that they need, and they're getting a bit discombobulated. They're able to take out the Bass in the subway, with Reinhardt following it on up on cart. They're just going for the eliminations. Mark playing on the high ground, gets knocked down, and why not the cleanup to boot. Quite a cleanup there. That's going to be point number 2, going to Stevenson with a 4-minute time bank to work with. Bet you Stevenson is riding high on morale here. Looking really strong, and another Bastion ult ready to go. Marth has swapped over to the Reaper, which could help with these close quarter fights as Reinhardt makes a push in with Why Not's ult. Going to be seen here, Blizzard being ready to use. They're going to be going aggressively, going in on in. And they're just going to be going around the corner. They set it on up. They do block the Rhino, unfortunately. The pin comes out, able to find that first. And there's only going to be one there. Strike that. They're able to find 2. And Stevenson's going to be starting to regroup. That's both DPS down. And now Stevenson taking it a bit back. Only one ult was used there, and it was a great ult at that, having that Blizzard come on out. As for Stevenson, we're definitely going to be seeing Wisner started up with the artillery barrage first to try to displace the Terrapins. Window comes out, and they're actually going to be pushing past that. That fire strike does, however, catch Rinzer in the back as they're going to have to be playing it safely now. Seeing a very aggressive push up here, almost setting up for another shatter as well. I think that's going to be the plan here for Maryland, is to get the shatter built on up and push in with it after executing it. Now they have to be smart not to get cut off themselves. Artillery barrage is now in effect here. Now coming around the side, they're setting themselves up. Shatter is ready to go. Shatter coming on out. It's able to find 2, but it's not able to find enough as the window is dealing way too much damage against them. Stevenson is forcing their way on through. The maze going to try to stall out on point where possible, but it's really borrowed time they're working with. They almost getting knocked into that pit, taken out by Neon now. But Reaper's going to have to play it very safe, smart here. They have the advantage on damage, but they have to try to maintain this high ground, which is very, very dangerous here, being forced back out into the open now. Gumi has beat drop and needs to stay alive in order to use it, not get pushed out into the pit either, as that would be very bad for them. Gravitational Flux is also online. It's going to be paired with Rinzer's overclock here. They're trying to get the May, and they're just seeing them right around the corner looking for that hit. They find it there, ladies and gents. Now going to be going for a cleanup shop. Coming on in. Stevenson having to get that Flux on off. Beautifully done so. As Reinhardt's trying desperately to stay alive here, playing on the interior side. The window does get popped off here, but it's not able to find enough value for them. As they're being pushed on back, pushing upon the May here. A minute 20 left. Reaper has to get around the side, make his way on over and in. They're able to get the freeze out, which stalls the point. But that initial damage from the artillery barrage, they're saved by the Kitsune Bell. Or I should say, just the regular Kiriko Bell. Now Marth able to find the 1, but staying alive best they can. That's not going to be enough coming around this side. They're forgetting about the point here. 49 really working some magic here. Going to be Sue Window activated, able to find that first second. And Ryan's the last one alive, but he gets eliminated as well with 51 seconds remaining as they cap point number 3. Round 1 is complete.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
Well, with that, now we're going to be swapping sides here. It's going to be Maryland on the offense. They can't afford to lose this map. They really cannot. As in terms of momentum, as soon as it does, we're going to be heading to a flashpoint, which is similar to what we saw earlier of the King of the Hill control type, where you have to go to several different points around the map. Suravasa has been the main selection by many of, not every team. while New Junk City has been getting little to no love. I would say for Maryland, the hard part is with their brawl, they had a pretty alright rotation with their ults there, but from there on, it was looking messy. It was really looking messy as they kept getting staggered out by the Mustangs. So I would say maybe they try to trade up for, say, like a Hanzo, get some spam in, try to put some extra pressure on the front line of the Mustangs while having the sustainability to outlast Rinzer, because Rinzer has been messed with by Gumi, so Gumi could continue to do little shenanigans while the team pushes in on isolated targets here. We'll find out. Now we do see Marth here on the Symmetra, an interesting strategy here. They do a fake TP, and it's Ryan actually pushing in very aggressively, but they lose their barrier here, gain a rock to the face. That's one, that's two, and they're looking for number three. All of them having fallen there. Maryland has to regroup. They're able to just barely get their healers out for now, but even that is maybe, maybe not, as they have to be careful for the splash damage that they receive. Best thing to utilize with Marth and Why Not is going to have to be getting themselves rotated and building up the beam. If they can do that, they'll have a great opportunity, but Marth gets immediately annihilated by Rinzer with the assistance of the rest of Stevenson. Stevenson is working really, really strong here, as we're going to be seeing that they are holding this choke unafraid of their positioning against this Mei, but they're keeping it in mind that they don't want to play it too far up as they can get picked off. Marth now has swapped off the Sim onto the Soldier. Will this be effective? Not too sure, as we've been seeing not the greatest out of Maryland here. We will be seeing rotation onto the high ground, which is an effective strategy. They're going to see if they can try to push Rinzer out. Having identified where they is, Rinzer just barely missing that jump up there. Marth now trying to find some extra damage here, but Maryland has to start to get on point. Ryan's going to be starting it with the Fire Strike, beautifully placed. Artillery Barrage coming in to match it here. It finds one, and it's going to be more, as Wisner has been doing some great damage there. They still hold the point. Maryland did get a tick from there, and they were able to find Rinzer as well, which was a use of overclock. So Stevenson, I believe, has overplayed their hand using both DPS ults and tank against Blizzard, Beat Drop, coming up with overclock, and Shatter as well. Nighthawk can't be staying here in the corner as they're way too vulnerable out in the open. They have to separate and regroup with their team. I would say their best bet is to push to the left side here, catch Stevenson by surprise, and use their speed and Mei ult to catch them out in the open. They're able to get the freeze out, finding the first. Immortality tries to keep up 49, but it's not enough, as we're going to be seeing Rinzer do some extra damage themselves. Point will turn over to Maryland here, but it's not enough time as they wanted against Stevenson. In comparison, 3 minutes 45 seconds on the clock they obtain, as Marth's able to get the elimination on the Rinzer there. Going to be seeing some extra damage coming out now from Bash and Wisner playing on the high ground. They're just getting the poke, trying to build up that ult charge yet again. They get the initiative here by playing up on the high ground with Bap and Marth. They're taking as much space as possible and taking advantage of the fact that they were able to find one early against the Mustangs. Now taking their space, they're going to start slowly moving up here, but they're going to have to work with Goomfy coming out with the Shatter. Shatter hits, able to get the double, but the Beat Drops also hit as well here. Now going to be coming out with the Railgun. Marth trying to find some hits here, but is really not able to find much of any value. Beat Drop has been activated by Maryland as well. They're looking to get the Bastion, but not able to, as Bastion stays alive with the assistance of 49. Now Window coming on out from Neon here, applying the pressure and healing a factor. Reinhardt is separated from his team and shoved into the corner, thinking about his actions. Well, why not able to get a trade-off before their destined death? 2.5 minutes left for a chance to capture second point here. Maryland needs all three, regardless of overtime, because they'll still have a chance playing here. We will see that Solus has ult available, and why not also on deck with Blizzard. Other than that, Maryland doesn't have much to work with, and we're going to be seeing here from 49 Wisner and Rinzer several ults available and on deck. Wisner definitely going to be utilizing with the Flux here, comboing together Rinzer, finding it very dangerous on this high ground. Playing up the combo here, it's coming on out, and that's a quad kill! Why did the camera have to double jump like that? I hate that. Nonetheless, what a beautiful play there. No doubt play the game in my mind. I just wish I had a better angle for you folks to see it. How disappointing. Nonetheless, we're going to be seeing here with a minute 40 left on the clock. Blizzard, Window, and halfway to beat and overclock. Going to have to find something really good here. Overclock is ready to work with here. And we're going to be seeing Rinzer played very back and safe, playing opposite high ground here. They're going to have to deal with Marv, who's on the off angle here. They don't realize where they are yet, but now it's been activated here with the overclock. So it's able to find that first pick, and they're playing on the back line. However, Stevenson is getting overwhelmed. They're being forced back into their own. They're going to have to give up second point guaranteed. The Terrapins take some additional space. Now 2.5 minutes to work with. Again, not a lot for a time bank, but they're going to have to work with what they got and continuously try to snowball effect against the Mustangs here. Going to be seeing a beautiful double fire strike against Cynic there as another one comes flying out of the works. Nighthawk has to be very careful and mindful of their position, because as you know here, the card is still making no progress. Card has made no progress. Now everyone has jumped off the point here. Why not able to get a double? But they're going for an aggressive play here and not being able to find any capitalization off of it. Now they're able to make the payload move, but that was way too much time wasted. That was a beautiful play from Maryland to push back Stevenson, but it was all in vain, unfortunately, for distance. And that's truly the happenstance of things. I would say in such an instance, you would have needed Mark to play it on back. Shatter comes on out, and they're going to try to burn down the Mustangs here. It's a double beat drop coming on out, and they're able to shut down the overclock. They're able to make just barely a touch, but the Mustangs are applying no pressure to the point, while Maryland is able to take it completely with additional time to make it work. A minute 28 for Maryland with a minute to Stevenson. This could flip. This could go in favor of the Terrapins, and boy, ever do they want that. So now we're going to be seeing that Stevenson is going to start on the attack here, while Maryland playing on the defensive. Let me give you guys some pointers here, because I know it's a bit of a narration here, but hear me out. When you're playing as a tank, and you especially have to deal with a team like Stevenson here who utilizes rotations, think about it. Maybe play close here and just get ready, but have Gumi available to speed you back. Because unless you can confirm it's a May, then you can try to play back and play a different strategy. Or you can even catch them off guard. But what they are not ready for, more than definitely, is going to be 49's Ramatra, which can burst through any sort of deflection. Except Orisa's abilities. For some reason, unless I'm wrong on the deflect, when you use Orisa's block, and I don't mean block as golden, block as in the spinning block, I believe it nullifies Ramatra's punches because they are projectiles, despite being physical damage like a hammer. It's very weird, I know. Nonetheless, we're going to be watching 49 lead the squad, moving their way on in, and they're not doing the same strategy as last. Reinhardt's going to be trying to build up some ult charge here. Got 17% on the board and counting, and Mark's going to be playing it on the flank here. Stevenson has a really good amount of frontline pressure at the moment, as Maryland is being pushed on back, but they're going in for a rushed play here. Almost had a beautiful play off of it, but Reinhardt is having to rely heavily on his DPS to try to help apply some extra pressure here. Mark duking it out with Rinzer, but Rinzer's staying alive and well. Tuning back in over to the front lines here. We do see that Wisner has fallen. Ryan trying to stay alive, playing it around this inside. They do find Marth. Marth has fallen, and they're able to activate the BAP window here. They find 2 ticks for the Mustangs. They need to find some additional eliminations against the Mustangs here to keep this to point fended. But Maryland may have to give it up. I stand corrected. They're holding strong and true. We're looking into overtime here, anyone's game, but Nighthawk able to find that double. They have to deal with Bastion here, staying around on the front line. Bastion has fallen. Now it's up to Rinzer, Neon, and 49. 49 needs to run back into the fight, but they're not going to be able to, as coming around this side, even with Annihilation available, they cannot make it back in time.
Score.
Stevenson has been awarded 88.6% of the capture progress. So that's all that the Terrapins have to obtain in order to win this map. However, if they cannot, it goes to the Mustangs. The pressure is on, and they're applying the tourniquet, but they need to squeeze harder to try to outpush either side. Going to have to see here what strategy either side comes on up with. I'm thinking we're going to see the exact same one with 49. No! 49 is going to be going over to the Orisa, and a play we don't see often, the Ramacha Orisa. I love seeing these brawl types. Unfortunately, we don't see any Reinhardts, which makes me sad. I do love seeing Nighthawk play the Rein, but you need to try to really pace yourself, especially given that you're using Marth, who's like an assassin type with picking off the opponent through attrition, and why not, who has to help burst down with the Rein and isolate targets. Compared to Wisner, who's on Bastion, who's able to apply a lot more pressure, even more than, say, a Junkrat at a large amount of over time. I'm jumbling my words here, but you understand what I'm saying. Going to be seeing the push come on out here. There at the top of the screen is going to be the mount that Maryland needs. Leading the charge is going to be Nighthawk. They're going to be rotating on through the side here with May, trying to help for a setup. But Gumi has been taken down. Reinhardt is also going to be burned away by 49, who's on the aggression here. Able to get quick cleanup there. Maryland grateful for the quick cleanup, but not a lot of all charge to work with. Wisner sitting pretty at just under 50%. We do see that there's a swap over to the Kiriko for this composition that I did not notice earlier. That's an interesting play. So they're probably just trying to help cleanse any sort of freezing abilities while also play back their strengths. Now we do see the swap over to Orisa. It seems it's just mirror matchup styles here, but that's a very dangerous game to play, especially at this distance here. You have to really heavily rely on your DPS to get some picks here going on in. But it seems that the Mustangs are holding their ground while Maryland's not ready to really push on up. They're going to be blocking off Rinzer as either side's going to be applying pressure here. They're looking to beam down Marth. That initial one goes on out. They're going to try to use this artillery. They find one, which is not going to be the one they wanted for the Mustangs. That's 49 fallen. That's first tick on the board there. Stevenson needs to find some more value here, and it's looking a bit dangerous. Wisner going for a potential suicidal play, but they do find the value there. Second tick has not been awarded quite yet. Neon's holding the point. They use Kasune Rush, but the Blizzard comes out as well. Wrecking Ball coming around the side. They need to make the touch. They do not touch in time as Maryland's able to take King's Row. Now, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this is a best of 3 series. So, seeing that, Wisner with the play of the game here on that quad artillery strike. Beautiful play comboing up here. Show a good show. So now with Flashpoint as the next map here, the question is over to the Maryland to start actually, because now they get the choice of banning. We could either see Saravasa or New Junk City. More than likely Saravasa, as that seems to be this new Scrims Row of Flashpoint, given that there's only 2 maps. And never mind, we get pick. So Mustangs will be getting the pick instead actually, as they agree upon it. And both, it seems that one of Maryland's sides is not happy with Flashpoint. Personally, I actually love the map. The maps of Flashpoint are different. They have you think more. I really like Sir Question is, what is the strategy going to be going on into this here, as we're going to be seeing Gumi on Mercy? Odd. I say odd because I would not expect a Mercy. I would expect a Lucio personally, but I can stand corrected. Nonetheless here, there's the swap.
And I always prove them wrong.
Now going to be coming on out here. We'll be seeing how either side will set themselves up for victory here. Oopsies, accidentally hit print screen there, as Windows 11 is a little funky like that. Nonetheless, teams are going to be leaning each other on off, with Maryland taking the far right while Stevenson takes the far left. Either side at odds with one another and keeping their distance here. For Reinhardt, this doesn't work well for them, but having control of the point, it can be just fine. All Ryan needs to do is play for sustainability here while Stevenson starts to slowly make their push on in. They don't have to rush pushing on in, especially against this brawl, seeing that they have the May there. Great setup for damage there. 49 taking quite a bit. Either side is looking for an initial pick here, but not finding anything. Marth is the first to fall here, and now going to be rushing in. They're able to separate the Sig, but they save him with their own form of immortality. Now train it on back. They're looking to get the May, and they do so just that. Rinser able to find one as well, and going to be following it up on the Lucio. Reinhardt coming on out and able to get eliminated before they're taking out the Sig. The point turns, and now it's over to Stevenson. We do see that Maryland does have a good number of ults they're coming up with, but it's going to have to be a bit more than that. So us having the window available will now be making the push on forward here. That being said, we'll be seeing a play up here while we're going on in. Window's been activated, and now they're looking to apply the pressure. Neon gets taken out with a headshot from Wineout. Marth able to find a follow-up there, as well as on the Wisner. Seems the Mustangs lose the point for now. Maryland is really looking stronger with each passing map. It seems they're getting their teamwork together, and it's working very, very well. Now going to be taking a look here, going on in. Going to be seeing the Mustangs again play very back. They don't want to play too close, as you have to deal with the May for walls. Artillery barrage coming on out. Shattered does get its hit in. However, Solus has fallen, and they did not find a good enough pickoff. Reinhardt's out in the open and gets burned down. Gumi as well with May. The last one alive is going to be Marth here, but doesn't really have a lot of room to escape as Stevenson takes the point. It does go up to at least 90% here, which is great for Maryland. The Terrapins now have an easier time. Once they can turn this point, they will have an instant cap if no one from the side of Stevenson is able to hold strong. Going to be utilizing Marth and Gumi here, but 49 has to play with Cynic and try to just play to live. Cynic here is going to be playing very back. Beat drops are going to be matching one another as 49 playing it safe. They catch out Marth, shutting down that overclock, not giving it the value they really wish they could. And Gumi does find Rinser. Gumi has been on a bit of a rampage, if you will. The healers are trying their darndest to keep up their Rhine. They're able to get the separation on the Rhine. Rhine's very much injured, trying to keep the pressure on. It's not looking too hot here. Fire Strike comes on out, but that was a bad time to be using it as it leaves their team exposed. But Ryan still lives, despite what I said. What should not have happened did. The point turns over to Maryland here. They have to rely on Lucio to make that touch, but they're not going to be doing that. What a turn. What a flip, if you will. I could have sworn that Stevenson had that. But once again, I am proven wrong here as the Terrapins make their way onto the palace, taking control of the fountain first. They're going to be doing a hard rotation to the high ground to help set up their DPS here, while leaving Lucio on point as bait. Gumi is not able to pull away as much of attention, as we are seeing Maryland has full control of this high ground. Rinser is in a bit of a hard place here, but that being said, Blizzard comes on out, and we are going to be seeing that the value is not too grand. Pin coming on out does find 49, and point capped by Maryland here. Stevenson going to be forced back yet again. Gumi does have beat drop, and Shatter coming on around as well, but they have to play it safe. Wizard cannot die going into this. They'll be setting themselves on high ground yet again. Gumi is going to be setting up with Solus on deck. Shatter completely available. They're going to try to gauge where Stevenson is pushing on through first. They do have Orisa, a very welcome change, I would say. Now here comes the Ryan. Ryan gained a bit aggressive, coming around for the Shatter, but I'm wrong. They actually saved it. Made me very worried. That Shatter finds no value between the Maywall and windows. Everything coming around the side here. Mark trying to get a pick off, but they're not going to be able to find it here. Stevenson completely wipes Terrapins, but at what cost? As we're going to be seeing here, it's now up to 73%. Hello there, Nexus. It's been a while. Teams are making their way on in now. Maryland has only beat drop to work with here, and this is going to have to be a dry fight. It needs to be a dry fight. They can't afford to really just perish here without getting any sort of value out of their plays. Going to be going for the initial rush here. Now being met by Rinzer. Beat drop's been activated, and now playing on the off angle here. We're going to be seeing some shots come on out, but definitely not enough here. We're seeing Maryland actually push aggressively on in. Nighthawk is in a rough spot, looking for the setup. A beautiful pull combo finds a quadruple play, shutting down the Terrapins. Yeah, that pull there was dastardly. My word, what a great play. That Orisa Terra Surge beautifully executed to try to center all of the Terrapins so they could not escape. Marth activating their ult, but they do get to overtime here, so there's a chance for Maryland only if they can find the pick. Marth able to find Cynic there, so that's going to be one healer down, but they need a little bit more in order to work with here. Coming on with the additional pushes here, we're going to be seeing Neon does not find great value here, as Maryland is actually finding headshot after headshot after headshot. Stevenson's going to choose to die on point here after stalling it out long enough in order to make a turnover. But this is not looking too good for them. I mean, seriously, look at this. They have to deal with a blizzard coming into this. 49 has to make the eat, and they have to also fight off against Reinhardt. But I'm not sure Stevenson's going to be making the touch here. They are not. They're choosing to give up this point and go for the next. Next point is going to be making its way on over to the temple. Here is the temple, a map, part of the map that I really enjoy, especially because I get to change up on tanks here myself. You get to play Roadhog because there's so much environmental opportunity to be had, as well as boops. So there could be a chance here for Stevenson to use Cynic's remover ability, but Maryland's not going to give him the chance. Coming around the side here, we're seeing a frontal engagement. Neither side really trying to push out in front of the other too much here. They know that either side's got a lot of damage, and I must say, although I was putting Maryland down before on how they were playing, they seem again to have their synergy. The Blizzard comes on out there. Shatter going to be made as well. They're trying to use Orisa to just body block everything. They do so successfully, able to find Gumi. The point turns over to Maryland, and it's going to be the window also met. The Immortality finds a great place there as 49's trying to stay alive, but is not able to, unfortunately, as Why Not gets that elimination. Stevenson is all around and everywhere. They're being forced on back. And will they get hunted down? No, sirree. Instead, they're playing it very back towards their spawn. They're going to be going for a regroup here. Going to have to combo for possible another Terra Surge artillery strike. So going to be seeing how this plays on out here as we're going up to 50%. Point being in play here with ults activated now. First shot hits, second as well. They're looking for the third. They're able to get the Immortality out. That's a great amount of damage. Either side has activated their overclock. Now it's Marth that's trying to utilize it to the best of their ability, but they utilize up all energy. Going in for the pull with the Terror Surge there does hurt Marth quite a bit, and the point turns over in favor of Stevenson here. Now Stevenson needs to just try to help keep this distance and apply the pressure. They need to push past this window or stay hidden on back here. I mean, seriously, take a look at how the angle is being played. Freeze coming on out here, and they're looking to find a charge play on in. But they get pushed on back. Point turns back over to Maryland, and Stevenson's going to have to try to get it on there. Going to be seeing a lot of pressure being put on the Rinser by Gumi. The point will turn once again after an overtime, but Stevenson is in a great degree of trouble here. Window's been activated. They're able to find the Reinhardt. That's going to be a starting up. Great startup play for them as Wisner is queening it on up there with the extra damage, followed up by 49, taking out Why Not. Been hearing that Jungle Queen has got a Giga buff. They could have. Depends on when you last play, because Jungle Queen did get a nice snazzy buff from a number of patches ago, but Jungle Queen's not that greatly utilized that it does get melted quite easily. We will be seeing Gumi set on up for a beat drop here, but they're going to have to be met with artillery barrage as well by Wisner. Wisner coming on out here. The beat drop hits as well. It does take out Wynot, as well as the immortality field. The window comes on out as well. They have to play it safe around the corner, but look who's on the flank. It's going to be Rinser, and it's the Bastion who's pushing on through. They're finding the damage needed, and this point is now going over to Stevenson. That means the game is still alive, ladies and gents. Next place to head is probably the Ruins. Yes, sirree. We usually do see the Ruins right after the Temple, just because they try to trade off either side's place. Last one will be the Garden, but that's only if Stevenson can cap this and stay alive. Maryland is not going to let up on the pressure they're applying, especially with their two ults coming online. Looking at Reinhardt taking the lead here. Nighthawk able to get this Shatter on deck. By Stand corrected. Just takes a couple more seconds. Shatter now ready and available. Has to make a decision on when to use it. They could go for it. They do activate it, but it's in vain as the Shatter is not able to be followed up on thanks to the Terror Surge separating and blocking. 49 takes full use of his abilities there. Great plays coming on out from the Mustangs there. Maryland was not expecting that too quickly. Mart does have ult available, and we're looking at a Blizzard coming along on as well, but they are going without Why Not. This is not a good strategy here. You need to move fast and together. If you play separate like this, you're only going to hurt yourself in the long run here, especially if you're helping Stevenson build their ults. Take a look at Neon back here. Window is ready and available. They're just waiting for a time to use it. They're going to be activating it here in response to the overclock coming around the side. But that overclock is running out of time for utilization. That immortality greatly placed their Blizzard, and Window's going to be met as well. Stevenson playing around the side. They do find the pick off, and now going to be artillery barrage coming in as well. It does not find any picks, but they do take out the Reinhardt with the slow orb there. Now having point turned over to Maryland. Maryland has to try to stall long as possible. They can do it. Wisner has been separated, so they are in a world of hurt. But Neon is keeping them alive despite everything. They're able to take out Solus, and they're looking to keep just the pressure applied as Why Not falls as well as Marth. Ryan having to full retreat here. I'm not sure that was the exact strategy to be made. Playing it as far back as they are. Better safe than sorry in the end. But they want to make sure they turn over this point before Stevenson can make the take. Instead, Reinhardt now is deciding to match the Orisa. They're giving up this point. They've decided that is not the play to be made, and we're heading on over to the Garden next. We'll be seeing both sides rushing their way on over here. Taking a look. We'll make our path quicker than they can. Might see an initial engagement, but the ones that will get there first is going to be Maryland. Haven't played since March? Yeah, you've missed a lot. I'll say that, Nexus. You have missed a lot. But it's been a good amount of patches here. I would say those patches were very well utilized. Stevenson's now going to be meeting them on the right side here. Maryland playing around the corner here, playing with cover. Good strategy in mind. And they're looking to try to burn down 49. 49 taking on a lot of pressure as they're going to have to start making their push up here. They're activating their abilities very early, but they do find Gumi. Gumi having fallen. Now with the overclock in effect as well, they're going to burn down that ice wall, and they're going to try to go for any pickoffs. Down long, they're able to find Solus, and they're looking for the follow-up on the Why Not. They're able to get Nighthawk. Marth trades them on back here. Coming running around the side is going to be Goomy, but the point turns over to the Mustangs here despite all efforts. Marth having fallen only after they take out Wisner.
Let's do this, Snowball.
For those of you that don't know, Bastion is a key player to have in almost any composition nowadays because of how useful they are. You have the nade, you have the aim, you have the turret and mobility as a Bastion. That's all anyone could ever ask. It's better than any sort of Soldier 76, despite any damage that could be applied. Now take a look at this window here. It's a great placement. I don't know about that one. That spear looked like it could have hit off the side, but it just breezed by them. Beat Drop's been activated here from the Mustangs as they're trying to keep them alive. Terror Surge also haven't been activated and used here. The window has been activated. There's a lot of damage coming on out here now. Terror Surge activated by Maryland gets the pick off, and the point has turned, ladies and gents. This is quite literally anyone's game here because we're going to be going in from this to a push map next. So whoever gets this one will have the initial lead towards match point. Now taking a look here, we see the swap over the stake off of Arisa. Will this be the play? Time will tell. We do see that only beat drop is available as Stevenson not able to have any ults themselves. So the advantage definitely is in Maryland's favor here. Let's take a look through Cynic here. He's playing it way back with the team, trying to help keep up the heals. They're able to knock down Marth and one out to half health here. It's looking pretty good, but they have to really rely on Wisner coming around with the applied pressure. That nade beautifully hits. Speed Drop's being activated now as well, and we're about to see a window push on in. Going to be trying to see if they can get their Mayon up, but they need to try to find some picks. They do so against Rinzer. Rinzer is the first to fall, and that's not going to be an overclock available for them. Maryland is looking strong, and they take Saravasa. This puts Maryland in a match point advantage here against Stevenson. Again, both sides need this game tonight in order to have chances at playoffs. So, all is on the line here. Great combo play here with the window, just finding an absolute melting pot of picks. And now we're headed over to push. But in the meantime, listen to some tunes, and we'll tune right back in when they're ready. Alrighty. We're coming down to potential final map, ladies and gentlemen. It is late into the night as well. We're headed to Colosseo. Even here in Italy, we're in the afternoon. Coming up towards twilight here. Very, very nice old historical city here of Rome. Gonna be seeing that with no side swaps. We're gonna have to be dealing with this push map here, landing in front of the gladiatorial arena. Now, for those of you that are not as familiar with this map, let me give you a heads up. This here is Matt. It might be Zach, it might be Pat. In any case, I call him Matt. Matt here, our push robot, has 2 barriers to push. What Matt needs to do is make it to one of the checkpoints on each end. A checkpoint looks just like so. Each team has 10 minutes to work with to meet their objective. If one side can push it all the way to the end, they automatically win. But if neither side can make it all the way to the end, it's whoever gets it the farthest here. Now we're going to be seeing some change in composition here. Wisner is playing the Hanzo while we're going to be seeing Mart on the Soldier 76. An interesting selection from either side. Great pick potential for both. We are going to be seeing a push-up here with the Reinhardt Nighthawk making their way on up. But he has to be very careful, especially against this spam here. Now with the points unlocked, they're going to be using Matt to push their way on up against the barrier here. Wisner having to play it very safe. They need to get to the high ground, but they're getting caught off. They're not able to climb, but they do find a double kill there between Cynic and Rinzer against Wynot and Marth. So now that they are pushed back, Ryan must try to escape, but gets his ankle caught by the rock, and now going to be flanked on out. They just have to keep running, protect their BAP as best they can. Lucio needs to just escape and leave him be. They cannot be trying to escort him out of there. Gumi needs to book it. Gumi is now in a big troubling position here. Just barely able to make it out alive, mind you. But they're not going to be giving up that space willy-nilly. Take a look at this angle here as it's Neon who's helping make this push on the point here, while the rest of the team is playing the high ground. We do see that Gumi has fallen to a dastardly headshot by Wisner, and that damage is coming out clean. We'll be seeing Marth swatch back over to the Sojourn. Probably a good strategy here to try to get those headshots, but they need a bit more here as some additional damage is coming on out. I mean, look at this here. The point is already going to be making its way to the first checkpoint here as Ryan's being forced to back on off. Stevenson is applying all the pressure, and now the first checkpoint is in their hands. As you heard there, ladies and gents, that is the forward spawn that has been activated. So for the Mustangs, if they do fall, they're going to be spawning in a nice little cafe that's very close to where we saw the start of Matt's spawn in. Right now coming on in, very, very rough and aggressive here. The Dragons coming on out as well. They will get the elimination on him, but at what cost here? As we're going to be seeing a good number of Terps being taken out. Shatter comes on out, does find a double here. They're not able to keep up their players, but they do get the pick off onto Nighthawk, which will have him wait back for the respawn. Cynic does get taken out by Wynot as well. But reminder, ladies and gents, the close spawn here for both sides, as you can see him coming on through this spawn here just now, is going to allow them for a quick re-engage and even preventing a loss of the close spawns. But that's not going to be happening here, as it seems the point will be taken back to the regular spawns. We do see the swap over to Winston. They're trying for a dive composition. Not a bad strategy here, trying to take out Rinzer as well, but they don't push upon it. Wizard coming on out onto Sig. Sig is in a world of hurt here right in front of the window station. But it's Stevenson that's applying the pressure here against Maryland, with Wisner finding a triple. Maybe trying to see if they can get May here. Just catching them all around the side. Solus has swapped over the break now to Anna. They're looking for those antis. And I agree, those Bastion hitboxes are quite large. Why not onto Sombra? It's going to be an interesting strategy here as they now know they have a Sombra. The way Sombra is played nowadays is not a random hack. You gotta target your hack and utilize the virus as much as possible and not get spotted by the Hanzo like so. As we're going to be seeing Marfall there to start. Now going to be playing on back. Wisner playing it out of his mind here. Able to get that close spawn once again. Meryl is forced back once more. Why not? Is being revealed every single time. They can't escape as they're being pushed back. We do see Solo swap off the BAP onto the Brigitte, trading the Ana over the Gumi. They've gone full dive mode, and they're going to have to really utilize Marth here as the overclock is ready to rock and roll. They just need to get rid of that shield, and then they're ready to just execute their plan. Coming on out, they do get a beautiful anti-on off, but it does not find the value that they are looking for. Marth is in a world of hurt. The window's been activated. Dragon's coming on in, and it's not looking too hot for either side. Primal is also activated here. Solus is the first down. Why not also follow up on that? Window's doing a great deal of damage. We are seeing Winston coming around from behind here. They're trying to get Hanzo, but there's no chance for them. There's just a mere amount of meters left, ladies and gents. I think they just need to get to 140. 10 more meters to go or so. They're so close. They almost have it. They lose the one, and it's a C9 there as Stevenson takes the map. We are now going to have to go to a final map here. King of the Hill, I believe. No, maybe an escort. I believe we're going to have to go to the escort. This is the first we've ever had happen on stream here, ladies and gents. And without a doubt, a play of the game coming out here from Wisner, giving a blow away. That bounce off the wall, finding both of them. I'm going to have to see what the call is here. I'm not sure what map we're heading to next, actually. I have to check the rulebook. Looking at the paperwork here. That's wrong paperwork. Shoot. I'm going to be seeing here resources. There we go. As I've placed it. Gonna be looking here. And here we are. So after push is going to be escort. The maps available are Circuit Royale, Dorado, Havana, Junkertown, Rialto, Route 66, Shambali Monastery, and Watchpoint Gibraltar. That's a lot to work with. Because I'm not a head clicker. Yeah, head clickers are it can be very difficult, I agree. That's why even I don't play Sojourn myself. Even though it's so useful to play as Sojourn. It's so good to have a Sojourn. But people boycotted playing as Sojourn because they said, oh, it's too easy. I just point and click. Well, those that point and click, keep doing it. If it's so easy and you're bored, go play a different game. And let me climb. I'm just saying. But now that Maryland was not able to get that map, it is match point for either side. It's anyone's game now. And as we're going to be heading to this escort here, both sides are going to have to say, what do they do? Shambali has been immediately banned. I mean, understandable. It's similar to King's Row in terms of the alleyways and high ground, low ground. It's a doozy to deal with. So we could see something of anything else. We could see a Dorado, Rialto. I think Rialto would be best for Maryland. We go junk do the Rhine Mirror hashtag promise says 49. So, are we actually going to see a Reinhardt come out from 49? Or is it a bait and switch? They're throwing in hashtag promises. I don't know. No, they're not going to honor it. Stevenson was pulling their leg. Maryland was really hopeful about that. You thought, a chance to play New Summer. Loved her in Overwatch 1. I was the guy who stupid amount of hacks every game. But I could never get the hang of the hack and attack playstyle of her first rework. New Summer looks much more fun though. New Summer is great for frontline. I will tell you. The virus, which is a little brick, the way it works is that you first hack a target, then send the brick out, and that virus works like a Widow Venom mine. and it does additional damage against targets that are hacked. So you want to try to combo those, and it's real quick too. It's like a throw out. It's real fast, so you don't have to worry about travel time too much. So we're gonna have to see here what Maryland's map pick is. They're still deciding on it, which is taking them quite a while, if you ask me. But they're trying to be very smart about it because they know that weighing their options here, they need to try to use the best they can out of this next map pick for the escort, as it's going to be the last one of the night. So just going to have to wait for any little thing here, really. Time keeps a marching, as they say. Well, while we wait, I'll turn it over back to the music yet again. I was expecting us to go for a quick turnaround of all things, but it's not the case right now. So, I'll see you guys in a moment. Alrighty, we're back on into it. Welcome to Circuit Royale. Here you're going to be doing an escort job, ladies and gents. Defenders will spawn in a hotel while... or attackers spawn in the hotel while defenders spawn in a garage. Here you're going to have your F1 and make your way around the site. You'll find yourself going through the underpass, going towards the first objective. When you do that, they'll grant you 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Once you get towards second point, you'll get an additional minute 30. And last but not least, your ending destination will be the center lobby of this hotel. Without further ado, let's get right on into it, shall we? We are going to be seeing that the Terrapins are going to be on the defensive to start here. And a choice over to Mart on Widow. Interesting. Different strategy here. Let's see if they can find a pickoff on the side. There's a lot of poke coming out, but not able to find that initial held shot they're looking for. We also see the choice of Alari here as well, which is an interesting pick. Along with Cynic on the Zen. We don't usually see Zens, I must say. So this is quite different indeed. Going to have to be looking for Wisner on the headshots here. They're able to get the eats on out from Nighthawk, but Nighthawk is still applying the pressure now. Seems the Mustangs are trying to give up control of this card for the moment while utilizing taking out the tank to start. A great strategy, I might add, as Wisner is able to find the follow-up. That's a double, ladies and gents, and maybe going to be finding the triple here coming around the side as soon as they get rid of this wall. Just missing over the head of Alari here. Alari trying to fight on back. Has that sunburst to work with here with the healing pylon as well to just hold their ground. Push comes to shove here. I could definitely see Maryland going over to the brawl style if they truly choose to. But they have to find the value out of it. This Discord does a great deal of damage, and since the Zen nerf, we do see that any target that is discorded cannot be discorded again for the next 5 to 8 seconds, which is a very big nerf in my judgment. Now we're going to be seeing here that Maryland is able to finally make some space once again, and there's about 2 minutes remaining on the clock, so Stevenson starts to make their way over towards this card again to try to get some space here. It's going to be an alt fest that we're going to be looking to play into here from either side. The first one to be initialized will definitely be Gumi. Gumi with the sunburst here will be able to push back the Mustangs for the time being unless the alt gets eaten here. They may combo it with Nighthawk's Flux as well. Flux been activated here, and there's been a DC from the side of Stevenson. This is not good. I believe that we have lost a window from the side of Stevenson. This DC is going to cost them, especially given that they have to face a window now. Dragons are placed beautifully well, as you're going to be seeing in the little highlight here of this window in front of the cart as it's blurred out. May will definitely come around the side along with a Blizzard. It's going to just be an overall, I think, from Maryland in response to a double ult, as well as Neon having fallen. I don't think May should be ulting this, but we could see it come on out as a combo with Window because they want to freeze and then burn down. If Gumi feels a bit antsy, they could activate their ult as well, but that's way too much overkill at this point. The only way they can survive through this is if Cynic is able to get their ult off in time to survive through both the Sunburst and the Blizzard and Window. I believe Neon is making their way back on in now. We do see it ready from Maryland here. So we're going to have to see if Stevenson can find any picks here, especially with this Immortality that's going to be coming on out. They're not able to find the initial pick they're looking for, and little do they know that the May is right behind, able to find that first freeze. But Why Not is still in a dangerous position. A headshot found by Mart there, and now going to be pushing up against it there. That was utilized as Why Not and Solus is on, as called there. Not sure that they should have used both because they were already up by so many. So now going to be coming on out here. We will be seeing a push up by 49, trying to make some space, but with this poke to poke gameplay, they really need to start to hunt down the Sig before you can get healed up by the Alari. But Alari here now going to be activating this Sunburst coming around the side here, especially with Mark down. Flux comes on out. They're not able to get the rock off the way they wanted to, but despite what I said, they're not actually activating as quickly as thought. They're dealing with, they're able to eat the Sunburst there. 49 with a huge play, knocking down their ability to find the value. That was a huge eat on their part. And despite 30 seconds, they are granted an additional 2 minutes and 30 seconds to themselves, so now they're able to find some more space. Yeah, that's then being able to not permit discord. That is true, but it's also very annoying, especially if you play as Zen. And there's no one else but a Doomfist in your face, and he hid from you long enough to get discord off of himself, but cannot be discorded again. That's annoying, I must say. Wisner playing it very dangerously here, as well as Rinzer. This is not looking too good for them. They do get the rock off, but it's not going to be enough here. They have sights up and available, and now being caught out. Martha is out in the open, getting shot down by Neon, and the pressure's still being applied here. They could go for an early activation of combo ults, but they cannot do it too well now, as they've lost their Hanzo for Stevenson. The barrier is all gone for the Mustangs here, while the Terrapins are playing it very aggressively, but that aggressiveness does not pay off for them here. We'll be looking for a Blizzard coming on out with these Dragons in as well. The rock gets a miss, and it's not going to be finding the spots they're looking for. That Discord does not find enough value. They get the rock off onto the Mei. She's used up all abilities and does not have any maneuverability to work with there. Beautiful headshot coming out there from the Mustangs. Gumi now does have ult as well as Solus. They go for another Sunburst play, but they gotta be very careful not to have it eaten by 49 like last time. It looks like they're about to make the cap on the point with no one to object it. Granted, an additional minute 30. Wisner really playing it dangerous. And I'm going to be taking a look at Martha, who's playing it very long. Looking for someone to make a push-up, but not going to be finding anyone at the moment. Flux gets activated with Sunburst as well. And it's going to be Rinzer and Neon finding the first couple of picks. They're followed on up against this Bap and Mei. That was a great amount of damage in a little amount of time. And they're going to try to continue going for the hunt. They get him by his ankles. Again, Nexus, there's no sound alerts as we have not hit the goal of 50 viewers. Once we do, then I will enable those sound alerts. But until then, we're keeping it professional, keeping it clean, if you will. We do see why not swap over to the Hanzo. They're trying to see if they can match the damage. They're just missing Neon, who's playing with fire, I would say. Neon has full control of this high ground, having to constantly check their flank to make sure they don't get caught out in the open. But looking at this here now, they're going to be forced on back. That rock beautifully hit on out. And now Gumi also going over to the Zenyatta, having to meet with a Zen and a window. This is not looking good. Neon's on the flank and finding the damage. Rinzer able to get front fire. That's going to be a complete cleanup here. No one's left alive. Team kill, ladies and gentlemen. They're still trying to make it on over. Can they do it? Yes, they can, surprisingly, despite having fallen. And now that's going to be the point turning. That was a very strong round. Things were looking dire for the Mustangs, especially after that ZC on first point. But they were able to bring it around town and find its destination here going in. So now, to take our way back through, Maryland needs to get it to its destination in order to stay alive. If they cannot, they will lose the match tonight. That will be it for the series. This is match point for both teams. So given that they defended first, typically I personally love doing defense first over attack, because with attack, you got to set a precedent to hold. While on defense, you hold them, and then you just have to meet the expectation. And from there, you could technically go beyond the expectations on the attack. But it's better to hold a defensive first, especially strong defense, where they can't even get around the first corner, if that's possible. It's rare, but it can happen. And I've done it several times. And oh boy, are people mad when I do. Nonetheless, we are going to be seeing they're sticking to their guns, and it's going to be a complete mirror matchup. While Maryland started differently, they are adopting Stevenson's strategy of Baptiste Zen, Hanzo Sojourn, and Sigma. Sigma is the meta for this map because of the way the map is styled and positioned. But we are seeing that 49's playing it down on the ground, an unusual position typically for a SIG, as we typically would see a SIG where Rinzer is, the soldier. But it's playing around on the ground around the car. I will say there's a lot of space being given up here, as we're going to be seeing additional damage coming on out. They better watch out, because Wisner has the spam available as Hanzo and is laying it on in. They're able to knock down that first tank there, as it's going to be followed up now by 49 taking the space and applying the pressure here. No one else is really able to push up against it here, as the Terps have to play it back. Excuse me. Speaking a lot today. We'll be seeing Gummies working their way up towards the Transcendence. They need that for as much as they possibly can, but there's a lot of pressure being placed upon them here. Now taking the high ground, it's going to be seen that the Mustangs are being forced back here. They're open for a great headshot if they can find it here. Has to be placed just right, but they're going to be playing it safe and playing it back. There's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here, as we're going to be seeing Maryland trying to apply some pressure on the cart and high ground, but they're being pushed upon by the SIG. Zen was able to knock him on back, but not much else other than that. An immediate disposal of 49 there with the window. Great timing of it and all. He'll be able to escape with everyone all around. 49 will not be able to get a contest here, so it's either Stevenson gives the point or they go for a contest. And I think they're going to be given this point here, going for the next part of it. This is going to be high ground to low ground fight here, so Stevenson has a great advantage. That advantage is only as good as you make it here, so you got to utilize high to low ground and the difference it takes for the car to get around the side. Going to be seeing Dragon comes around for Wisner, and that's definitely going to be utilized to try to separate some plays going on in here. Coming around the side now, we'll be seeing the window has been activated with Rinzer having been shut down by a rock from downtown, but they're able to trade it back against Nighthawk. Looking at the Zen here, I believe there was a fat finger coming on out from Cynic there. Not sure what the strategy was, as that is almost every Mustang alt in the bank. That's not good. As we're going to be seeing the Terrapins have Gravitational Flux, Dragons, and Transcendence themselves. With Wisner's Dragons, he's going to have to utilize, just as mentioned earlier, separating and finding great picks. Just missing that FAP there. And they have to be careful not to get picked off by the Zen. Here comes the ability ults, but it's going to get rocked. Dual Dragons being met here. As we're seeing, it crossed through one another. Cynic does fall, so that's going to be bad for them. Now coming around the flank on the side is going to be Rinzer. Has to play it very safe and back, not to get caught out. 3 minutes remain. They were only able to burn a minute or so, given that was 4 minutes 45 seconds granted to Maryland. Danes are not looking too good, but they do have the window to utilize here. They're going to apply the pressure immediately. They're putting in every single little thing here, trying to use SIG as a gauge point of space. But Marth is on a roll here, finding elimination after elimination. Granted an additional minute and a half here. Now going to have a large time bank to work with. Stevenson is not in a good position. For the Mustangs here, it might be best to swap over to a Sim. Sim has great utilization around this specific corner here defensively, but they also need to maintain space when doing so. Taking a look over here, look at Marth. Marth is gone on the complete flank, but they don't see the Hanzo until just now. So that's going to apply some pressure onto them here, as Wisner is not able to really peek as they wish to. Great first hit coming out from them there. They're going to have to find something more here. Potential headshot coming out here from Why Not. They just missing it over top. It's not looking too high for them. They're so close, but no one's able to make any real distance on the card here. They're trying to use Gumi, but Gumi cannot touch well enough. Gumi has to play it very safe and back as the spam's coming out from this window here. So much damage coming on out, and it's going to be all charge being built up from either side. I would say if Stevenson here, I'd probably try to have someone push on that Zen where possible. There's the pick. Why not able to trade it on back against Rinzer? And now it's going to be Dragons coming on out against them. We're going to be seeing Transcendence activated. It might be an overly aggressive use of it. We're going to have to see if they can get this rock out. It's beautifully hit. From the foul line, if you will, even. 49 able to get that trade. Both Hanzos are down, and they're now going to start to make their turn around the corner. But that's a lot of damage to have to deal with here. Flux coming in as well, knocking them around and escaping the rock as well. They're going to be utilizing the separation of space here to try to play to live. For Wisner, it's going to be a great opportunity for these Dragons to come on in here. They just need to know when to use it. And when there's enough of them grouped up, that's going to be Marth taken on down. They do not need to activate the Dragons here unless push comes to shove, because right now it's going to be Maryland that has to back off. But coming here on the flank, what is the Zen doing? Zen trying to go for a very aggressive play. This is a very bad play for them instead, as they're getting cut on off. This supplies a great opportunity for the Mustangs as they were able to build up not just one, but two additional alts here. Neon ready to lock it on in, and Cynic also at 67%. Marth is the only one that has an ult available. They did put in a good amount of damage, but that is just not going to be enough going into a minute 30. Not a whole lot of time left to work with here, as we're going to be seeing a flanking to the high ground. This is not usually utilized, I want to make note of, because usually teams just pretty much stubbornly bash their heads against the wall until they make some space. That's what we typically see in many instances. But because they're playing for this high ground here, we are seeing that it's going to be a great utilization against the Mustangs to a degree. That's going to be a lot of damage coming on out there from that Dragon there. But they do find the picks. That's going to be 2 picks down. 3 picks. And the cart's still not making its progress, unfortunately, however. Nighthawk playing to live here, as well as 49. 49 cannot afford the swap here, as they need the Sig 9 to take effect. Solus and Nighthawk have their ults available. 49 is going to have to get this ult very, very quickly. Ult is ready to available. That's Rock, so they know they can activate it for free. And it's up in the air. There's 22 seconds left, and going to be activating the Transcendence to start here. Coming around the side, they're looking for additional pick-ups. They're able to find Wisner, and they're now pushing on the pressure. Stevenson just needs one additional pick. There's 10 seconds remaining. They activate the Transcendence to keep players alive. Neon is going for the aggressive style play, but it's not working out into their favor here. However, Rinzer does find one. They're trying to get Marth now. Marth does get taken down. Do I dare say it? The turn of the hand here. 49 is able to keep it up, and Stevenson takes the series. I could have sworn Maryland had that, but lo and behold, Stevenson gets it. Marth, however, does get the play of the game for an outstanding performance here. With that collateral double kill, following up on the triple, cleaning it on the quadruple. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. We are going to end it here tonight. I'm not sure when playoffs are exactly, but when we have the dates, you'll see the notifications. Just how to make sure you follow. Until then, I may play some games on my own. You may see me around tomorrow, or even cooking again. So stay tuned for that. And anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!